I was a feminist without even knowing the word. And so for me, it's not sort of an abstraction, it's not something to debate, it's a way of living. To be feminist for me also isn't sort of something I put on and take off. It's who I am. It's who I've been since I was old enough to think, which is simply that I've always felt very clearly that men and women are equal.
When I hear the word feminism, I think strength and just building that strength on an equal level.
For a man to be a feminist is to say, well, yeah, I'm going to treat you as an equal.
You know, little messages about reducing yourself.
Absolutely.
Messages
Not talking
about,
too much.
Yes, don't talk too much. Reduce yourself. Caregiving is what you need to do.
So there's this understanding that women are capable and intelligent in those things, but that's still not the preference, I feel like, of males.
You know, the kind of feminism that tells you, of course you should have a job, but always ask your husband for permission. Right. Of course you should do your own thing, but your husband has to allow you. Right? That for me is just such... Yeah. Even the idea of gender roles, is sometimes you find yourself performing things that actually go against your own well-being, but you've been so conditioned. So for me, it's about questioning that and having that journey and getting to a place where there's just a bit more justice for women.
So I'm from a South Asian background. So over there, of course, there's a lot of patriarchy. Because you change the mentality of the women here, like the South Asians like us, that when we go back, we can have that conversation and change like their mentality as well, or at least start a conversation.
And like the male ego is very fragile. I mean, everybody's ego is fragile, but the male ego is particularly fragile because of patriarchy.
Ego's a factor, and I've been with plenty of women who are highly egotistical and feel that they are absolutely right. And that gets tricky too, and it doesn't really serve anybody.
All of these assumptions we have about gender, I think it's just really important to start stepping away from them and letting children be individuals.
Right.
We police girls, we praise girls for virginity, but we don't praise boys for virginity. And it's always made me wonder how exactly this is supposed to work out, because...
Maybe a new word needs to come out. Like, feminism is still there, maybe like a new definition.
Maybe what you're thinking of a new definition would be something that's just more intersectional, so really including all women. Yeah. So women of color, women from different sexual orientations and different faiths, and that is really what feminism has to encompass.
I'm kind of done with the terms feminist and manist and whatever. Let's just all be fair to one another. We don't have to label it.
I think the best way to reach people is through story.
Yeah.
People, human beings are human beings, people are people, and they connect on the level of emotion and story.
Yeah. I read her book Americana, and I found it just tremendously powerful because of how it made me think about my own experience of learning what race and racism were in America.
I find melancholy to be very beautiful. Melancholy in literature, melancholy in stories, in song, even in people. Women should have the choice to be as feminine as they like, as they want to be, and still be taken seriously, right? We don't have to dress in men's oversized suits to be taken seriously.
I remember learning for the first time in college that women who identified themselves as feminists were more likely to wear makeup. And even though that seemed odd and ironic to some people, that actually really resonated with me, because all that is enhancing yourself if you're doing it from a place of celebration of yourself.
For example, for women, it's a certain kind of hair. So hair that grows up. It might be cool or funky, but it's not what it's not aspirational. It's not portrayed as aspirational. You look at what's on television and what is sort of the larger society say is beautiful. It's straight hair. And so you have young girls who are growing up with that in their heads. And it's something that I want to talk about, I want to address, and want to challenge. And
you can be feminine and be powerful and be smart and be all those good things, and that being a feminist should not scare anyone. We should all be feminists. I think it's obvious. Anyway, this is Dina from the T signing off. Bye.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and look for us everywhere by searching Join the T.